Our interview this morning is with Eva Irene Metcalf. Eva was born in Granby, Missouri in, October of 1928. She worked with the USO during World War II, 1944 and 1945. This interview is conducted at Burleson, Texas on Friday, June the 15th, 2012. My name is Dale Dexheimer. I'm not related to Eva in any way. Also in the room are Gary Burton and Milton Gibson, who are our videographers. This interview is conducted for the Veterans History Project at the Library of Congress and also Operation Remember, City of Burleson, Texas. Now, Eva, you can tell us about your time with the USO.
Okay. Well, I worked for the, I'll think of it in a minute. I worked for a doctor at the health unit. He got me into the USO. That's how you had to be approved for the USO, or they wouldn't let a woman in. You had to be approved. So I went into the USO, and that's where I met my husband. And when I met him, well, I danced with the GIs up there. That was our interest, was to dance with the USOs, with the boys, souls were there at the USO. And we would go to various places. They'd take us to be entertained at the camp out there, Camp Crowder. And we enjoyed that, we girls. And the USO, that's where I met my husband. And we were married within 3 months after we met. He was determined he was going to marry me. And my parents didn't want me to, because I was coming to Texas and I was a Missouri girl. But I did anyway. You know how that goes. Women do what they want to do. And after the USO, well, I was working for this at the, I can't remember all these, at the state of Missouri doctor at the health unit. And I continued that for another year after I married. And that's about my story.
If we go back, Granby is in the Ozarks. You're in the southwestern part of Missouri, down around Joplin.
Right.
What did your family do there? What did your mom and dad do?
They were farmers.
They were farmers, so you grew up on the farm.
Right.
Born in the farmhouse?
Right.
Okay. Brothers and sisters?
I had 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Did your brothers serve during the war?
No, they didn't. They stayed on the farm and took care of the farms.
Okay. The doctor had to approve you to work for the USO.
Yes, sir.
When I think about this, in 1944, you were 16, 17 years old?
Yes. I graduated from high school at 15.
Wow. Okay. When you went to work for the USO, did you live at home even?
No, I lived with a doctor in a doctor's home. It was a doctor's home. It was a doctor's home.
Okay.
And me and another girl lived in the doctor's home.
And this was in Granby, I guess?
No, that was in Neosho. Neosho.
Okay. Neosho.
Yeah,
Okay.
close to the Camp
Uh,
Crowder.
what'd your mom think about you going in this USO and going to dance with all these soldiers and what have you?
She didn't mind.
She didn't?
No,
Okay.
not really. As long as she could trust me. And back then, you could trust the soldiers. They never tried to do anything with us girls. They were nice young men. And I was danced with a lot of them.
These dances, you went to, I think you said Camp Crowder?
Yes,
Okay. So you went out there to the base.
right.
And they had a mess hall or some
Yeah.
big hall?
Right, and we would all meet there and dance.
Okay.
The girls.
Uh, to a live band?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Were they good?
Oh, yes. We thought they were anyway.
Okay. Was this a 5-day-a-week job, Eva?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, we could go to the USO anytime we wanted to
Okay.
during the night, day and night.
Your typical day. You get up in the morning, you go out to the base in the morning?
No, in the morning, I work for this doctor. I
Okay.
had to work during the day for this doctor.
Okay, so you
I was
worked, I'm sorry.
I was a secretary there for him. And we took care of children that came in. They brought children in from the schools to have them vaccinated and whatever. That was the unit that I was working at.
Okay. So you worked all day for the doc, and then at night you went out and
Right,
entertained.
right.
Okay. USO. What's USO stand for?
United States, I don't know. I don't remember.
United Services Organization. I'm
probably.
not sure what it does anymore. I think a lot of people think about the USO and you think of Bob Hope, Jerry Colonna, all these big
Oh,
names.
yeah.
Did you ever have any big names come to Camp Crowder?
I'm sure they did, but I never got to go see them.
Okay.
I got to see Bob Hope though here at the USA at the Dallas, out there at the fair
Oh, okay.
fairgrounds.
Okay. After the war sometime?
No, yeah, it was after the war.
Okay. Working for the USO, did you report to a USO coordinator, or did you report to somebody in the Army? Who was your boss at the USO?
I don't know. They never had any problem with them, so
Okay.
never had to.
What'd they pay you? How much did you get paid?
Nothing.
Nothing?
That was freedom. That was free.
Wow.
Why, sure.
Volunteer.
Volunteer, yes.
Okay.
That was for the boys, we entertained them, we danced with them.
And you met your husband. Of course, you didn't know it the first time you danced with him. You didn't know that was your husband, I
No,
guess.
no,
Okay. Where was he from?
here in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas. Okay. And he was a soldier?
Oh, yes. He was in the Army, Medical Corps.
Oh, medical corps. Okay.
Yeah,
Did he go overseas, or did he pretty?
No, he went in fairly late.
Okay. So he stayed in Missouri?
No, he went all over during the war.
Okay.
He was in there about 3 or 4 years before I met him.
Oh, okay. Was he an enlisted man or an officer?
officer. Well, no, he was a staff sergeant, master sergeant before he left the Army.
Okay. And 3 months after you first met him, you got married.
Right.
Okay.
And my parents liked that a fit.
Mom didn't mind you going to the USO, but she didn't want you getting married.
No.
Well, you were...
She didn't want me to leave Missouri, see.
Okay.
She knew if I married him, I would be coming to Texas and I wouldn't be close to her.
You were 17, 18 when you got married?
17.
17.
Not quite 18.
So, did Mom and Dad have to sign for you?
No.
No?
No, I came to Texas and married him, so he got all the...
And you didn't need any
No.
parents'
No,
consent?
Not then.
Okay.
Evidently, I didn't have to. They didn't have to.
After the war, you continued working for doctors, right?
Yes,
Okay.
for a doctor.
A doctor?
Yeah, he was in the unit down there that he brought in people that had diseases or children. They brought in all the children out of the schools in the counties to be vaccinated and whatever.
Did your husband stay in the medical field after the...
No.
No?
No.
Okay. You worked with a doctor before
Right.
and during the war and then after. Why? What drew you to the medical field? Why did you want to do that kind of work, Eva?
Well, I don't know. It's just that I fell into it and liked it and stayed with it.
Okay. Mom and Dad have cows on the farm?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Horses.
Horses?
Yeah, and I milked 7 cows every morning before I went to school.
Okay. That was my next question,
That
but
was required.
Uh-huh.
They had 21 cows, and I marked 7. I'd go in the field in the fall, in the winter, or not in the winter, but in the evening, and go get my cows and bring them in if I was going to have a debate. I was going to go with the boy. I didn't want him to sketch me out there in the milking.
You had 21 milk cows?
Right.
So you had 7 and your brothers had 7 each?
No,
or
my mother milked 7, my dad milked the other 7.
Okay. Were you the oldest of the kids?
Not the youngest.
You were the youngest.
All of them are gone.
And you got stuck doing the milking.
Yeah.
What time did you have to get up in the morning to go out and see those girls?
Oh, by 6 o'clock, 5.
6?
Because I had to catch a bus to go to school.
I suppose you milked them by hand. You didn't have any machine.
Oh, no. Yeah, I milked. Sure.
You ever have a cow kick you?
Oh, yeah. And you put their foot in your bucket and ruin your milk. I've had that happen.
Uh-huh. You have some cats out in the barn to clean up that mess?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I got plenty of them.
Okay. At the USO, we go back to the USO, you danced with the soldiers. What else did you do with the USO? And I don't know what else, but did you work at the canteen or?
No, I didn't. I just, at night, I'd go out there and we would dance, you know. We were required to dance with them if they wanted us to dance, and that's what we were there for.
Okay. Did they teach you anything about dancing, or was it just what you knew and just the rhythm that you had?
Just what we knew. And
Okay.
these boys, some of them were really good at dancing.
Were they all Missouri boys pretty much?
Oh no, they were from everywhere. They were in the Army out there, seeing at Camp Crowder, right there close to Neal. It was out of Neosho. In fact, Camp Crowder took my dad and mother's farm and took it in for the camp.
Okay.
Took in a lot of property out there. Yeah, you had to give up your property if they wanted it.
Uh, hmm. Were there were there some boys that you might remember that were better dancers than the others?
Oh yeah, there was one from New Jersey. I don't remember his name.
A New Jersey guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he never had anything but on but those boots that they wear in combat, I guess. That's all he ever wore to the USO, and he could dance like crazy in those.
Did your feet get a lot of bruises dancing with these boys?
No,
No?
no.
Was that because you were pretty quick on your feet, or were they all pretty good
Well,
dancers?
we had good shoes, I guess. We
Okay.
didn't wear shoes like this in my day.
Well,
That was one of the best times of my life, though.
how long did you do it? You got married. Well, you started and you. I guess how long did you work with the USO total, Eva?
Probably a year or more.
Yeah.
So, because before that I was working for this doctor
Mm-hmm.
since I got out of service. I went in the service. Got out of school, went down and lived in town so I could go to get a job. First job I had though, I went to Joplin, lived at what was that place you lived at? Girls
YMCA or YWCA?
YWCA.
Okay.
And worked at went at night and worked at night, and I made cigars on the machine. They had four of us girls, sitting on these machines, and I had to take the tobacco and lay it on these deals, and then they come down and cut them. Oh, you had to get rhythm to it too. But that's the first job I ever had.
That was the first job you ever had. You
Right.
graduated high school when you were 15.
Right.
How old were you when you got this first job?
15.
15.
Yeah.
And you moved from the house you lived in with your mom and dad. You moved into town
Yes, in the nail shop.
and had a place of your own.
Well, I lived in a doctor's.
Well, you lived with a doctor, and then you also spent time at the YWCA.
Right.
But you moved away from home when you were 15
Right. Mother and Dad let me.
and got a job when you were 15. Wow. You said you worked in a tobacco factory.
That was in Joplin, Missouri. And I lived at the USO.
Did the farms up in that area, did they grow tobacco?
No.
It all
nothing,
came
no.
in from somewhere
Oh,
else. Okay. Okay. Hmm. You started working when you were 15, and you worked. How long did you work, Eva?
Till I married.
No. How long did you work totally? You worked after you got married.
Oh yeah, I worked for 30-some years for one company, General Foods. Ended up at Kraft now.
Okay. In Dallas.
Right.
Okay. So you worked from you were 15 until you were 60?
Yes.
Wow. That's a long time. Long time.
Yeah, I got that job with General Foods. It was General Foods to begin with. Then it ended up Kraft.
Mm-hmm.
Still Kraft. That's where I get my money from, Kraft.
Your retirement
retirement
fund,
money,
okay.
yeah.
What'd you do for craft?
I was worked on computers. I was in a area that we took orders. Each one of the girls or people were assigned so many customers, and that was you. They would call in their orders, and you would use a computer and
Enter.
put them in the computer for 'em.
Okay. We back up to when you went to work for the USO. The doctor, did he have a regular form, do you know, that he had to fill out, Eva, or did he just write a letter of recommendation?
I have no idea. I know
Okay.
that he okayed me because I had to be okayed before they'd accept me as USO hostess.
How many girls were there like you that worked at the USO? Were there 100, 200?
I have no idea. I imagine all over the USA.
Bunches.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Had to be. Because they would be, the USO would be in all the camps, around all the camps.
You did this during the war. Was Camp Crowder integrated? Did they have both black and white soldiers?
I don't know. I really don't know. I never saw any black.
You never
soldier.
saw any black ones. Okay.
No, probably not.
Okay.
Maybe not. Maybe they kept them out of camp. I don't know.
Okay. Other than your husband, have you maintained any contact with any of those other soldiers? The boy from New Jersey that was the good dancer. Do you ever hear from any of those folks?
No.
Any of the other girls maybe that you worked with?
Oh yeah, the girls I worked with, I hear from. I did a long time, but no more. You know, you kind of get used to your life, and you forget about the people that you were,
Mm-hmm.
were with early years. You get busy with your jobs, because I had a job that I worked 6 days a week, 7 days and 7 hours a day. I had a big job in for general.
People don't work that way anymore.
No,
No.
they don't have to. I had maybe 5 or 6 girls working with me, and they never could get caught up with the type of job I had to begin with.
After you got married, after the war was over, you left the USO. Did you and your husband still go out and dance a lot?
No,
No?
we had kids.
Yeah, okay.
You know how that happened.
Was your husband a good dancer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Was that one of the things maybe that attracted you to him, or him to you, however?
Lord, I don't know. He was attracted to me more than I was him. I wouldn't tell him I'd marry him till I come down and met his folks. He didn't know that. I wouldn't, because I didn't want to get into something that I wasn't used to. I could have.
I guess you'd never been out of Missouri?
I've been to Kansas or something like that, but no.
Okay. When you worked for the doctor, and at night, afternoon, you went out to the Camp Crowder.
Right.
You have your own car?
Heck no.
How'd you get out there?
You got out there with a bus.
Okay. The Army provide that bus, or
No, we went on our own.
it was like the city bus company?
Sure.
Or okay. How much did it cost you to ride that bus?
Gosh, I don't remember. Dime, probably a nickel.
Okay. But
Mine couldn't have been very much because I made $100 a month. That was my salary that was my salary, $100
Okay.
a month.
But it cost you money to go out there and dance with those guys, but the government never paid you anything.
No.
It cost you money out of your pocket to go out there and entertain the troops, really.
Well, yeah.
Okay. When you said you were making $100 a month, when you went to work rolling the cigars, working in the cigar factory, do you remember how much you made then, Eva?
I really don't. Couldn't have been much, so.
That would have been, what, 1940, 41, 42, somewhere in there?
Right.
Okay.
Couldn't have been much.
Couldn't have been much that they paid you? Of course, it didn't cost you much to live either. You didn't have a car.
No, and I took food from the farm. I went home every weekend nearly. I'd get food and we'd take it to the US, where we were living and eat it, have it there.
Mm-hmm.
You did a lot of things back then that you don't have to do now.
Yeah. Your farm, the family farm in well, say 1940. Y'all have indoor plumbing?
Heck no.
Oh, okay. Solves that one, doesn't it?
Mother and Dad didn't get indoor plumbing or anything until after I married.
Okay. You have electric lights?
Finally.
Finally. When you went out to milk those cows at 6 o'clock in the morning, and say before the war, you were milking cows before the war, I guess, weren't you?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well,
Did you have electric lights in the barn?
I know it didn't have any.
You went out there with a lantern.
Right.
Okay. Did you have to go out and gather up the cows in the pasture, or did they pretty much come up to the barn?
No, Daddy kept them in the pasture, in the lot that night.
Okay.
But in the evening, I'd go get my cows.
So he'd round them all up and put them in a
Well, they had them in a
fenced area next to the barn.
Oh, sure. And
You got your 7, brought them in, milked them, and then you turned them out to the pasture?
I let him do all that.
Okay. You did the milk, and that was enough.
That was all I could do. Get ready and go to school.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go to school in the morning. I'd have to be, and I was the first one on the bus.
So you did ride a school bus?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Dirt road? Sure. Okay. That's a good question, really. Those 7 cows, you milked the same 7 cows for as many years as you were milking them?
Right.
You have names for those old girls?
I'm sure Dad did. I didn't.
Oh, Dad did, but you didn't. They were just something came in the barn and you had to milk them, and that's what you did.
Right.
One of the reasons I asked Eva, we interviewed a fellow about over a year ago, I guess. He and his dad farmed 80 acres of cotton over in Louisiana. And in 1937, he walked behind that mule all day. And he could tell us, he told us lots of things about that old mule.
I imagine.
So,
Daddy never did own meals. He had cows.
you had those 7 cows. Was there say one cow in there that was meaner than all the rest?
No, I usually had the ones that was pretty good.
Oh, Mom or Dad took care of the ones that were...
Yeah, that would kick or whatever.
Okay. If you had it to do over, anything you'd change?
No.
No?
Those were good days. I know they were hard days for my mother and Daddy, but they were good days because I knew I was loved, taken care of. Never had to, never went without food because they grew their food. And that was a pleasure,
Did your dad did you have hogs on the farm?
Oh, yeah. Well, the butcher.
And that was my question, yeah.
On the-
So
on-
in the fall or the winter, Dad butchered
two
two hogs.
hogs.
He butchered them himself out behind the barn somewhere.
Well, yeah, him and my brother did, my older
Okay.
brothers.
Did he ever do beef? Did he keep a steer or two around that
He did, but he never did
he never butchered them?
butcher them, no.
You have chickens?
Oh, yeah. Mother had chickens.
Mother did. So she went out and she reached under that hen and got the eggs.
Right.
You didn't have to do that.
Well, I had to, son.
One of them old hens ever peck at you?
Oh, yeah, they would.
Okay.
Yeah, those were the days I would take for those days. I know they were hard for Mother and Dad, but they were good days. I was loved, and that's what mattered.
You bet. Eva, thank you.
You're welcome. Glad to help you.
It's been fun talking to you. You bet. You did a great job, and you got a great husband out of it too. So
oh yeah, I got the best.
like you said, it was good and you enjoyed it. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
You're welcome, and it was my pleasure too to meet you fellas.
You bet.